What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to today's Morning Coffee with Mike. We are about to get started here with how to execute trades without emotion. I like to, let me turn down the music here. I like to get myself hyped up with some AC/DC. But welcome, everybody. See a bunch of people hopping on right now. So today's question is how to execute trades without emotion. This was a big topic that came up during the Trading Mind Wheel virtual conference. And I wanted to go a little bit deeper here with you guys because there was still some questions around it. Now, if you've dealt with this, executing trades without fear, type into the comments, let me know. We're going to talk about some fallacies around this topic. So some common ways to put a band-aid on it, or what ends up being slapping a band-aid on this thing, and it tends to not work very well for most people. We're also going to talk about answering the questions: am I entering at the right time? Big fear for a lot of people. Did I think through everything on this trade? If those are some of the thoughts that pop into your head. First off, you're not alone. That happens to everybody. That's happened to me too, and it happened earlier in my journey. It's happened midway into my journey. Not so much at this point, but things that questions that if you don't have answers to, when they come to you in the moment, it'll make you start second guessing yourself and cause you to not self-sabotage is the most common way to think of it, but it's actually just doing what your beliefs are telling you to do. So let's get into it. Um, how to execute trades without emotion. First common fallacy with this: let's outsource it. Let's get some AI. Let's get some bots. Let's get some algos. Let's even hire a professional money manager. If you're doing any of that, type into the chat. Let me know. Or if you've thought about using AI, bots, algos, type into the chat. A lot of people go that route and they think that that's going to solve the emotional issues, right? Because, well, if you're not the one that's placing the trigger, or if you have somebody else that's managing the trade, there's no emotions involved, right? I used to think that way too, and it's actually something that I talk about in the Trading Mind Wheel. Uh, when I first got started trading, I opened my first account back in 1999. So I'm dating myself a little bit here. There were no bots or algos or any of that stuff, but there were mutual funds and money managers and that sort of thing. And so I didn't think that I knew what I was doing back then. I was just getting started. And so I handed my money over to the professional money managers, right? So it's an actual person that's managing millions and billions of dollars and is managing my account for me. Great. They know what they're doing. They've got loads of diversification, all this experience, the college degrees. They, yeah, your birth year. Wow. All right. Yeah. So, 1999. So when I handed my money over to them, I assumed that it was safe. They knew what they were doing. 1999. I didn't even realize that 1999 was the dot-com bubble. I just knew that put money in, more money comes out the other end somehow. So I handed my money over to them, and in the first couple of months, I saw it starting to work, and I was thrilled. I thought that I'm a genius. I should have started doing this a long time ago. Same kind of thoughts that a lot of you probably have when it comes to AI and bots and algos, right? That's what it's supposed to do. You put the money in, and more money starts to pop out on the other side. Wonderful. Well, when things are working with it, it's wonderful. But what about when it doesn't work? So I handed my money over. It started to work in the first couple of months. I took my eye off the ball and I looked at it again, not a couple of months later, not even a year later, but when I was getting ready to graduate. I was getting ready to graduate in 2002. Took a look at my account and it wasn't up anymore. I thought that it would just keep on climbing, keep on climbing. No, it wasn't. It didn't. It wasn't up. It didn't stagnate. It was down 20% from where I first put my money in. And not only that, I still got to pay all the management fees. to the mutual fund, and I was just like, well, what the hell happened, right? It's been 3 years. You guys are pros. You had loads of diversification, and I'm still down. I took my money out. I went home and I cried. That is the same scenario that a lot of people follow with going with an AI or a bot or some kind of an algorithm because, well, these people develop the software. They clearly know what they're doing. I'll put it in it sounds good. I read the sales page. It sounds good. And then when it's not working, that's when uh, these thoughts tend to start coming up, right? Like, did I think of everything? Uh, is this thing really working? Is it behaving the way that it's supposed to? Hey, well, what's going on? And then you end up taking the money out at the absolute worst possible time. So, how can you do better, right? How can all of us do better? Well, what eventually worked out for me when I figured out and got myself on the right track that I talk about in the Trading Mind Wheel. So part of what finally works is first thing that you need to do is know. Or here's a few things that you need to know. You need to know yourself. You need to understand your relationship with money. You need to know the basics of how the market works and how whatever you're putting your money into works. And by the basics, what I mean is, do you know the absolute worst case scenario for this thing that you're putting your money in, whether it's an AI, a bot, or whatever it happens to be? What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst drawdown that you can expect? What's the historically? Well, what's the worst drawdown that it's had, and what is the worst drawdown that you can expect from this thing? Right. So the the most common fear, or one of the most common fears, even if you haven't thought of this fear yet, it's in the back of your mind. And the fear is, what if I'm putting my money in at the absolute worst possible time? Right? So, let's say that you see this system, you bought this AI that's going to trade for you, and you see that, oh well, it only has a 10% drawdown and it promises 40% returns per year. That's wonderful. No, and let's assume that it actually works. The fear is that you're starting out at that worst possible time. You're starting out when the drawdown is about to happen. And when you see drawdowns too, you need to understand how the length of the drawdown and the velocity of some of the drawdowns too. Does the 10% happen all in one shot, right? So let's say that you put $10,000 in, you wake up tomorrow and now there's 9 grand in it. Are you okay with that? Or is it something that's more prolonged where you put 10 in today, you look at November, and why November? No, my birthday, right? I'm thinking about my birthday already. So you put 10 grand in, and then you look at November, and then all of a sudden you're down to 9. Would you be okay with that kind of a drawdown? Do you understand how this stuff works? And uh, well, what's the absolute worst case scenario that you can expect? If you understand the worst case scenario before you get started, and you're prepared, you're truly prepared for it, then you're able to mentally handle it a bit better. The problem is that most of us don't think about the downside. We're more focused on the upside. The downside tends to be an afterthought. So how can we deal with this better? How could we understand, am I entering at the right time? And did I think of everything? Right? Well, the things that you're really going to need to do here are to one, ask yourself a few different questions, right? Questions that will help you know yourself better, help you understand your relationship with money better, help you to know the basics that are needed for trading. And it's all things that I'm talking about in this book, The Trading Mind Wheel, which is available right now. We also did that virtual conference last week. Go check out the virtual conference. But some of the skills that you're going to need. First skill, mindset. First skill that we talk about in here, mindset. Mindset is a huge theme. And understanding the beliefs that you have about yourself, the beliefs that you have about trading, the beliefs that you have about money, just in general. And even if you are planning to not trade full time, let's say that you want to outsource, you're still going to need to understand some of the basics. So understanding the basics of how markets work, understanding the basics of risk, all that discussed in here. So even if you're handing your money over to something else, you're still going to want to give yourself some base knowledge. Um, Someone just asked about binary trading. So it all this stuff can work. Or binary trading, trading options, crypto, stocks, whatever it is, all that can work. It's, do you have the strategy that's going to fulfill your needs? Do you have the strategy that's helping you meet your goals? And by goals, it's more than just a financial goal. It's the goals of, is this strategy giving you the time that you want? Is it how much of a learning curve is there in learning this particular skill? Um, does this uh, does this strategy fit your beliefs? Right, like it. If I think that options are risky, if I think that binary trading is risky, then am I going to be able to execute a binary strategy? Well, probably not. If I'm afraid to do this, then my mindset needs to shift on this thing that I'm getting ready to execute. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, Question about swing trading: which time frame should I choose? The same answer, right? Well, what's going to fit your goals? You could swing trade. Typically, when people say swing trading, they're talking about an average holding period, couple of days, couple of weeks. Um, you could day trade, you could scalp, you could hold longer term. Uh, eh, the one that's going to work best for you will meet your financial goals. It will align with your beliefs, and it'll align with your ability to execute. All of them can work very well. You need to figure out yourself first. And there's lots of exercises in this book here, The Trading Mind Wheel. Go grab it now. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Actually, if any of you are in the New York area, I'm going to be doing a book signing at Barnes and Noble on Saturday, April 15th at 3 o'clock Eastern. So if you're around, I'd love to meet you. Let's see. Well, what else? A lot of questions coming in today. I love it. Question from Raheem. Whenever I trade in demo, I win frequently. And when I trade with a live account, I lose. How to overcome that? So, uh, first, I'd be curious to hear about how long you've been trading with this demo account, and what strategies you're using. Are you journaling your outcomes and to see if there's clarity in that part? Right, because if there's not, then we need to go back and start to fix that part. It's almost like if you were thinking about baseball, right? Baseball season's getting ready to start. So if you have like a certain swing in the batting cage and you're working on certain mechanics, uh, are you just going to the batting cage and hacking away and you're starting to make contact, or are you working on specific fundamentals where your elbow is, your stance, and those parts of the game as well? If you're fine tuning at that level, then it should be able to translate over better to, or you have a better shot at translating over to trading. If you're just open up a demo account and you're placing trades, then um, there could be a variety of things. So I'd want to go back, look at some of those things in relation to your trading, your when you're executing, the types of trades that you're executing, your setup, how things are clearly defined. um, does it have an edge? Is that edge proven to you? Your position sizing, many things, right? So it might sound overwhelming, um, but all of it is clearly laid out in the Trading Mind Wheel, and that's really why I wrote this book in the first place. Is because that, well, when I started out, there wasn't a clear blueprint. Like, and even when I started to find other people that have had great success, people like William O'Neill, people like Jesse Livermore, Nicholas Darvis, Mark Minervini. Uh, their books were wonderful, and I learned so much from each of them. What I didn't learn was all the different skill sets that are needed to actually make this work. It ended up being siloed. So, like, I learned a lot from each of those guys. I also learned a lot of stuff from Van Tharp. I learned a lot of stuff from Mark Douglas. Then I went down the mindset rabbit hole even more, and there wasn't a whole lot in the trading space. So I went to Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, Robin Sharma, went back even further and started looking at Napoleon Hill, started looking at guys like Jim Rohn, and started to really deconstruct the mindset part. And all that stuff is needed for trading success. And so I wanted to put something together in a relatively short book. I think the book is 240 pages total, um, including the intro and everything. But something that would tell you each of the skills that are needed for trading mastery and to link them all together and to show you how mindset is the biggest part of each one of them. That's why I wrote this. So, in order to translate what's happening in your demo account to have greater success in your live account, you need to master the 8 essential skills needed for trading mastery. Let's see what other questions are there. Scrolling over here on Instagram. Do you have a boot camp for new traders? So, uh, I I have an elite program, an elite mentorship program, and there's a couple of different levels to it. With the starter, you're getting my daily and weekly analysis, and in there, you're getting the daily and weekly analysis, all my thoughts on the market, the trades that I'm actually in, my full trading plan. Um, that starts at, I think it's $50 a month. Then the next uh, scale up from there is what I call the premium membership level. So at the premium membership level, you're getting everything in the starter. So you're still getting all the trading plans and everything, but you're getting the uh, lessons. So you're getting lessons in each of the 8 core skills needed for trading mastery. And so a lot of what's discussed in the book. You're getting that, and you're getting our Discord community, and it's not like a typical Discord where we kept the community very small, and people are actively contributing in there, asking questions, sharing thoughts, and it's not just where people are spitting out random trades. Uh, Anything that's discussed inside the room, we're picking apart ideas, and it's more about understanding the why behind a certain trade or certain methodology. Then at the VIP level, that's where you're working with me one on one and in groups, and we're meeting multiple times a week, and you have access to me uh, nearly 24/7. But yeah, but the VIP program is where you're getting mentored by me, by Stu. If you were at the virtual conference, you met Stu. Stu's amazing. He's one of our he's a member that came back and is now a coach, and he's extraordinary. And so these little one-off boot camps, they're okay, but what I've seen that gives people real results is working with somebody at this level one-on-one, and uh, and in groups, and doing that for a longer period of time. It gives you time to grasp each of the different lessons inside, ask questions, get answers, show somebody your work, get feedback on it. Uh, and, and it's not meant to be super quick, like drinking from a fire hose, right? Where you get overwhelmed in that boot camp kind of scenario. Stretching it out and allowing you to digest the information, share your results with a coach, ask questions, and having that kind of dialogue has been the best way to help people. And so that's why we've structured the program in that way. Where can you find it? Go to marawealth.com. Here, let me type it into the chat. marawealth.com/membership. Yeah, so you can go to this spot here. marawealth.com/membership. Let's see what other questions have come in. All right, yeah, if there's no other questions, we will end it there since we are already over. So one more time, if you guys are in the New York area and you want to come out on Saturday, I'm doing a live book signing and Q&A at Barnes & Noble. I'll be posting the details on there soon. Barnes & Noble in Massapequa. So for those of you that are local, you might know where it is. It's on Sunrise Highway. I'll be posting the details for that shortly. I'd love to meet you guys. So if you're in and around New York, come out on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and I'll see you there. All right, everybody, take care. Much love. Peace out.